Katy Perry wins $15 million Montecito mansion lawsuit against dying veteran Carl Westcott. Full 2025 verdict explained. The Los Angeles Superior Court delivered its final ruling on November 26, 2025, affirming Perry's ownership of the sprawling Montecito mansion and awarding her $1.8 million in damages against 85-year-old U.S. Army veteran Carl Westcott. This decision caps a 5-year odyssey that exposed raw tensions between celebrity ambition and the vulnerabilities of aging sellers. Families like Westcott's, watching a loved one slip away in hospice, often feel powerless against such legal tides, prompting calls for stronger safeguards in real estate. As the dust settles, the case leaves lingering questions about mental capacity in contracts, especially for those battling progressive illnesses like Huntington's disease. Westcott, a Texas billionaire who built empires at 1-800-FLOWERS and Wyndham Vacation Resorts, snapped up the 11,000-square-foot Mediterranean gem in May 2020 for $11.25 million, eyeing a swift resale. The estate, perched on 2.5 acres in the celebrity enclave of Montecito, think ocean views, a sparkling pool, and a sports court, promised a tidy $3.75 million profit. Just weeks later, fresh from major back surgery and grappling with early Huntington's disease symptoms, he greenlit Perry's $15 million cash offer through her business manager, Bernie Gudvey. Texts and emails from that frantic July period paint Westcott as a hands-on negotiator, juggling rival bids and sealing deals on multiple properties, which the court later cited as proof of his sharpness. The trouble brewed almost immediately when Westcott, recovering in a painkiller fog, emailed to pull out of the sale, sparking his August 2020 lawsuit claiming mental incapacity from medications and his 2015 Huntington's diagnosis. This progressive brain disorder, which erodes cognitive function and often includes anosognosia, a heartbreaking unawareness of one's own decline, affected Westcott deeply. His family argued, rendering the contract void. Perry, countersuing for breach, pointed to unrefuted evidence of his deal-making savvy, including interviews with brokers and backup offers from figures like Maria Shriver. By late 2023, Judge Joseph Lipner sided with Katy Perry in a bench trial, declaring no credible signs of impairment, a verdict that stuck through appeals and cleared the path for her to claim the deed in May 2024. As Perry began renting the property first to stars like Chris Pratt and Katherine Schwarzenegger, generating steady income, the damages phase zeroed in on her losses from the limbo. She testified via Zoom in August 2025, framing the fight not as vengeance but as a quest for fairness after forking out $9 million upfront while $6 million lingered in escrow. Westcott's side pushed back, seeking to cap her recovery at $260,000 and spotlighting his own forfeited interest on held funds, all while his health crumbled to bedridden fog and hospice care. The judge threaded the needle, granting Perry $2.8 million for foregone rentals and $260,000 for repairs like storm-damaged trees, but subtracting $1.06 million in retained capital and $150,000 for Westcott's losses, netting her $1.8 million from the escrow pot. This outcome leaves Perry with a mansion at an effective $13.2 million, still a steal in Montecito's feverish market, but it underscores a stark reality in elder law that demands scrutiny. Courts leaned heavily on contemporaneous records to affirm Westcott's capacity, yet Huntington's anosognosia, documented in 25% to 50% of cases, muddies such judgments, as patients like him may appear fully in command while lacking true insight. From my vantage covering celebrity real estate skirmishes, this feels less like a clear-cut win and more a cautionary echo of Perry's past battles, such as her drawn-out 2014 clash over a historic Los Angeles convent, where aggressive tactics drew predatory whispers. Westcott's family, led by son Chart and Real Housewives star daughter-in-law Cameron, decried the pursuit as heartless, amplifying a narrative of Hollywood steamrolling a dying vet that lit up social media with over 1 million views on viral threads. Family's perspective. Spotlight on hidden decline. Most individuals with neurocognitive decline do not recognize their decline, especially early on. It's the family members who bring it to light. In this case, while Westcott personally initiated the lawsuit, his relatives have driven the challenge to his mental fitness at the time of signing, arguing how Huntington's impaired his grasp of the contract's terms. This viewpoint highlights the emotional weight on caregivers, who often spot vulnerabilities courts might overlook in paper trails. As one family advocate noted in recent discussions, such suits stem from a protective instinct amid a loved one's fading awareness, urging reforms like mandatory family consultations in elder deals. Counterpoint: evidence of lucidity over impairment. Yet, records show Westcott filed the suit himself, initially blaming painkillers rather than neurological decline for any lapses, a claim the court deemed suspect, given no moments of lucidity during the multi-week sales process where he might have questioned his actions. Critics of the family-driven narrative point out that shifting arguments from meds to Huntington's weakened the case, especially against proof of his savvy negotiations. This perspective frames the dispute as classic buyer's remorse in a high-roller flip, not undue pressure on a vulnerable seller, reminding us that wealth and experience can complicate sympathy plays. Yet balance requires noting Westcott's own profile as a seasoned flipper with a $5 million fortune, not a novice ensnared by sharks. His initial suit, filed personally, evolved from painkiller claims to Huntington's pleas, but evidence of parallel multimillion-dollar closings undercut vulnerability arguments. Public sympathy tilted toward the veteran, fueling fleeting ideas like a cooling-off period for senior-led sales, though no such reforms advanced by year's end.